Alright, so, barring an exploit crash and apparently starting a couple of minutes late, we are finally going to get into the game once again, guys. My name is Draskyl, joined by Quantic, Mikey. We're going to be casting Root Gaming, taking on PotM for ECAL's North and South American only tournament. This is a $3,000 tournament, and we're also having, I believe it's Group 2 today. But Mikey, man, how's it going?
It's going great, man. Glad to be here.
Glad to be here. I know you're probably going to rip on your friend Blitz. I know you guys were casting the other day. I managed to catch like the last 5 or 10 minutes or so, and it was definitely very interesting to say the least. But what do you think about this game? You think it's an even matchup, or do you think that PB is actually slightly favored here?
I feel like PotM Bottom definitely has the advantage here. Root just lost their fifth player B-Diz, and PotM Bottom is on a hot streak, so...
Yeah, that is definitely some. Do you know who's ringing, by the way, for Root today? They have somebody FQG beat game. I have no idea who that is.
I actually do know who it is. However, I'm not at liberty to discuss this information.
You're going to plead the fifth. I understand. Definitely no problem there. But we did get into the ban phase a little late here, guys. So we're going to see Brood, Lone Druid, Enchantress taken out for Root Gaming, along with Darkseer, Lycan, and Chen banned out for PB. So nothing really too surprising. I like the Brood ban pretty much straight up against a team like PB. I know Aoi 2000, that's one of his go-to heroes. Definitely understand taking him out. The Lone Druid and Enchantress, though, is definitely a bit strange. After the Enchantress pickup, though, I think it's pretty much a no-brainer to go ahead and get rid of Chen. But that allows Leshrac to be taken by Root Gaming as the first pick, followed by Invoker and Furion from PB. So both teams looking pretty strong so far. And with heroes like Darkseer banned as well, what do you think? Oh, okay, never mind. Not even going to have a chance to ask you, as Shadow Demon is picked up as well by Root Gaming. So in terms of picks so far, what do you think the style that PB is going to be going for? You think they really want to concentrate on push, or do they feel confident taking it to the late game?
I feel like Root Gaming has scouted out PotM Bottom well with the Brood Mother, the Syllabare, and the Enchantress bans, but PotM Bottom still got their favorite Invoker pick, and they picked up a Furion, so I can still see them going for a more push-orientated strat, or a middle game, or like a mid-game strat. They don't really like going to the late game very much. They like ending it before like the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I think Shadow Demon here is a great pickup, though, by Root. I think he's probably, in my opinion, one of the best supports in the game at the moment. I know Crystal Maiden and Venomancer are still pretty highly favored, but I love the fact that Shadow Demon can pretty much turn around fights in a big way, especially early on when you have to constantly worry about heroes like Nature's Prophet. I mean, just as an example, you can completely offset a level 1 Sprout by just disrupting one of your teammates and prevent any extra damage from going out, so I think that's definitely a solid pick as well. And right now, Root has a lot of early game aggression in terms of their two heroes, although I suppose you could argue that PB is also bringing quite a bit to the table with that map presence from Furion and the Invoker as well. So just waiting to see what the third pick out here is going to be from Root. PB also needs one more before we get into the second ban phase. But overall, man, thanks again for joining me. I didn't get a chance to actually thank you because this particular game, I was going to be solo casting, but you volunteered, man, so high five to you.
Yeah, no problem, man. I'm happy to do it.
Wow, okay, Tidehunter being taken up by Root, so they're really basing themselves around some kind of mid-game push strategy. They want to make sure they can get that Tide early game levels. Enigma coming out from PB, so it's kind of like very heavy push versus a kind of team fight-centric team, but they also have push potential as well. I mean, you can never really take away the fact that Edict can just disintegrate towers after a couple of seconds. So we're going to see a Brewmaster ban out here in the second ban phase, and what do you think that each team's going to be going for here?
Well, I think Root really wants to pick up their two solos here, or potentially another hero to go for dual lanes. And PotM Bottom can pretty much do whatever they want. They have two long laners or two junglers, and they have an Invoker, so they're keeping it really versatile in what they can actually run. Root is kind of more predictable at this point, so I don't know. I'm interested to see what PotM Bottom picks up.
Okay, so for Root, we could pretty, I think, convincingly say that we're probably going to see Leshrac farm in this game, since they already have a hard support in Shadow Demon. So I'm thinking for them, maybe a mid. They could still potentially, I guess, dual lane mid as well, if you're in Root's position, but I'm not entirely sure, and I'm kind of on the same page as you. I want to know what PB is going to do. They've also banned out the Storm. That's one of Blitz's go-to heroes, so it's definitely understandable if they want to get rid of that. Don't want to have to deal with it at all. And right now, I'm kind of in the same boat, man. I'm just kind of wondering what each team is going to go for. I think the Sand King ban here makes a lot of sense. They still need some kind of initiation. Only one real hard stun right now coming out from PB, and that's Malefice. I mean, Cold Snap's pretty good, but we're not even really sure if he's going to be going for that kind of build where he maxes Quas first. I know a lot of Exort Invokers typically get one Wex now just to make sure that they do have that that Ghost Walk early on in the game so they don't have to get ganked and not have to worry about it as much. But seeing an Invoker pick out too from PB, I feel like almost guarantees that Root's going to want to dual lane mid. They just need to be careful about who they send there, because there's a good chance that when you dual lane, especially with a passive support, the Invoker's still going to be able to farm in that lane and still get his levels. So we'll see what they decide to do there. Just waiting on the last ban out from PB. And they're probably going to look to ban some kind of mid, I would imagine. I'm not really sure what else that Root could be taking at this point, unless, again, they could be saying those 2 heroes mid.
Going back to what you said, though, Invoker middle against a dual lane is actually really favorable for the Invoker because all you really want on that hero is the levels. Getting the farm is great, but all you need is the levels. So unless they put the Shadow Demon and the Leshrac on it just to keep it out of the lane, I don't think they should dual lane against it because the Invoker will still have the advantage.
Yeah, he's definitely really, really tough to deal with. And I do agree with you. I mean, I've just seen it so many times, you know? They'll send, like, a passive support like a Lich to middle lane with something else that does well with farm, but they don't really accomplish too much aside from getting him that farm, and the support can't really ever trade. And this is actually pretty interesting, too. CK is the very last ban of the game. That's something that you don't typically see, and I think it's pretty much just because the bans have actually been a little bit strange, at least in the first 6. We had Enchantress going out and Lone Druid. I know the other day when we casted, we didn't have a single jungler banned for pretty much all the games. And then people start banning junglers again. So it's definitely a kind of a weird switch. And there's a Morphling pickup, so if there is going to be a dual lane mid, I would imagine it's going to be Morphling with something like a Shadow Demon if they're going to go to that. But they don't have any junglers yet. They don't have a dedicated long lane. Unless they want to send Tide up there, which I have seen before. I actually think that you guys have done it every once in a while, if I'm not mistaken. But it's typically just like, what, the boots first and tangos or something like that?
Yeah, we pretty much just send Tide under the top lane to soak as much XP as possible without dying. Like, when we picked that as a long lane, we never expect to do anything in that lane.
Well, at the moment, still waiting on 3 more picks here. 1 for Root Gaming, 2 for PotM. I want to thank everybody for joining me, especially Mikey once again, for joining at the last second, saving me from a solo cast and likely not having to chug 2 gallons of water after this particular game. But it is only going to be 1 game today. I actually don't think I brought that up before. There were supposed to be 2, but the second game of the day was canceled, so it's going to have to be rescheduled for, I believe, tomorrow, where Grant is going to be casting on this channel, I think covering all 3 of those games. But hopefully you guys stick around for that. Also, feel free to follow the channel. We definitely get a lot of help from that. Also, shout out to Blitz once again for giving us some of his viewers. Always love him. I'm sure he's the kind of fan favorite for today. Unfortunate, though, that he doesn't get to play a signature hero, though, Mikey.
Oh yeah, he's not playing the Storm Spirit, but he'll play Leshrac. He's pretty known for his Leshrac as well.
Yeah, I actually have seen his Leshrac on stream before. It's definitely very, very good. And wow, right now PB is just taking their time, man. They got about 13 seconds left, and they're going to go with an AA. So they have crazy global presence right now. That's pretty much what I'm seeing after that AA pick. That totally solidifies it. I mean, you have Ice Blast, you have Furion, and you also have Sunstrike. So I'm assuming that Invoker being played by Fogged is going to be going for the Exort build. But I could be mistaken, although I suppose at the same time, why wouldn't you, especially considering there's a Leshrac and a Shadow Demon on the other team, and they're very susceptible to that kind of thing. You can pretty much just kill them flat out with that combo.
Yeah, not going Exort when you have these globals is just not appeasing the advantage you'll have.
Well, just waiting on the last picks here. Could potentially still see another support from Root. I mean, I don't know if Shadow Demon would be considered the hard support here. I guess you could say that Tide would probably be the one who's getting more farm than the Shadow Demon. But at this point, they can still kind of pretty much pick anything, I would imagine. They just have really open-ended lanes in general. Anyone can really kind of adapt to any situation. And they're going to go with Queen of Pain. So not without their own kind of burst damage as well. We're talking Ravage. Shadow Demon can do the Soul Catcher with Queen of Pain burst and Leshrac as well. Not to mention Morphling Waveform. That's going to be some serious burst potential coming out from them. And honestly, I'm thinking about it now, and PB's really going to want to split push this. I don't think they ever want to take a 5-on-5 fight against that team.
Yeah, the only thing that PB has working for them is there's not a lot of things that can cancel the Black Hole in a 5v5 situation. So if they get a hole off with A and the Invoker, their 5v5 can be good, but yeah, Root Gaming's 5v5 fights with Ravage and Queen of Pain and Leshrac is pretty ridiculous.
Okay, so if you're PB and you have your last pick here, what do you think would actually help you in the situation? At the very least, you're going to have one dedicated jungler, unless I guess they wanted to send something ridiculous like Furion to the long lane, and they're going to pick up a Windrunner instead. Okay, so they're really going for a global strat. They want to try to line up the Ice Blast, Furion Ultimate, Sunstrike, everything in the book, basically, to try to pick off kills and get some kind of tower advantage early on in the game. And that strategy is great, but if Root plays a defensive game and doesn't get caught out, I gotta say, I give the pick advantage here to Root, as long as they don't get cocky and get caught out of position.
Yeah, basically, I think if Root can last to the 30-minute mark, or past the 30-minute mark, then they're going to have a huge advantage in this game just because of the Morphling. PotM has nothing to compete with that going into the later stages of the game.
Definitely agree there. We'll go over the players really quick. Well, we will have a pause, of course. This is purely North American Dota, so there is just no chance whatsoever we'd be able to get into this game without one. Blitz is going to be playing the Queen of Pain for Root. DDX taking up the reins on Shadow Demon. Ephraim playing Tidehunter. Korea on Leshrac. And finally, their stand-in, FQ. I'm just going to call him FQ. Actually, that sounds a little bit too not nice. We'll just call him Gamer. He's a gamer. He's a Morphling. And that's going to be it for Root Gaming. And then you want to do the other side, man?
Yeah, for sure, man. Okay, we have... I'm going to say that's Fogged as Meow on the Invoker, since he always plays that hero. Then we have Snake King on the Therion, Aoi 2000 on the Windrunner, Tides of Time on the Enigma, he's playing as Into the Abyss. And then What a Cute Nito, that's way too sexy on the Ancient Apparition.
Man, it's almost like you've done this before. You're just a legend. I mean, there's so many people out there who can't even really read names, and I got to hand it to you, man. High five. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, man.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. It's really good to actually have people on who can talk and speak about the game and don't have to feel shy, because that's really the one thing that I think holds a lot of people back from commentating, is just not being able to be open and just say whatever they think. So we're going to see PB's lane shape up here really fast. It looks like we're going to have a bunch of people from PB scouting out top lane. I really don't think Invoker is going to be making his stay on top. I think we're probably going to be seeing an AA with an Enigma top as well, which is in itself a bit strange. But seeing as how this AA does have support items, he is going to be playing that hard support role. And Enigma, being played by Tides, has nothing but 3 clarity, so he's helped too by pitching into buying, I think, either the Observers or the Sentries, one or the other. And they have a chicken as well. So they're really looking to win this top lane.
It's actually interesting that they're putting the Invoker on the top lane as the farm hero instead of the Windrunner. I think giving the Windrunner all the early farm would be more beneficial for them, but maybe it's just their strategy or how they like to run it.
Well, going against the Leshrac, let's just theorycraft here for a second. Leshrac doesn't do that great against the Windrunner last time I heard. I honestly think that Windrunner has a pretty significant base damage lead and a pretty decent animation. I know Leshrac's isn't that much worse, but just in terms of laning phase, I think that Windrunner pretty much wins that, doesn't she?
Yeah, I would give the advantage to the Windrunner, definitely. The Leshrac is so weak, and the Leshrac just likes to abuse Edict, right? And Windrunner never has to get close to him for that to happen. So we'll see how it goes.
And definitely will. A coming down here to try to counter ward. Is he going to find it, though? He puts his ward up first. That's definitely an interesting play, although DDX doesn't have any sentries, so he's not going to be able to do anything about it. So wait till he's going to make his way back up here and probably try to circle around and get some autos off, but Shadow Demon's like, no, don't kill my ward. I need this. But I don't really think it's going to be too long for this world. Going to see a DD also picked up by Furion, and he's going to be going up against a Tidehunter and a Morphling. So this Morphling's pretty much free farming, and the Invoker is going to be free farming. And in this case, I think that Root's probably going to be happy with this trade. The only thing is it's going to depend on mid and how well that does, I think.
Definitely. The Windrunner will have... Oh, well, the Shadow Demon is landing with the Leshrac, so that gives a slight advantage to the Leshrac if they can get it off the Windrunner's hill.
Yeah, and Queen of Pain's going to be struggling up here as well. He does have a boatload of regen, though. I actually went for a 2 Flask build and 1 Tango, but even going up against an Invoker in general, that would still be a pretty tall order, and having pretty much 2 people sitting right by you in the jungle at all times with no vision now, after I think both camps were actually countered. There is another sentry placed on the high ground here right above the rune, and there is absolutely 0 vision for him. He's going to get cold feeted up here, but able to blink away, so he'll be fine for the moment. But I think right now, Root's actually just flat out going to win 2 lanes, so this Invoker and Global Strat's really going to have to pay for itself as time goes on to really be good for them.
You also have to think, though, they're winning 2 lanes, but the top lane is going to win, that's obvious, and they have an Enigma in the forest to come out and help control the game later. So the 2 lane wins, they have to be pretty huge wins for it to matter in a big way.
Yeah, that is very, very true. Can never really discount a jungle hero, especially when the other team doesn't have one. Although I guess Tide's going to be pulling. We're also going to have AA pulling, so I don't know, man. I think it's just going to be down to early game execution. The one thing that's really going to hurt, though, for PB, and actually Sneaking has managed to make level 2 already. That's actually fairly impressive considering the fact that he was in a lane that I don't think he should ever have really been in experience range of, although I suppose at the same time, Tide can't really do too much to him.
Yeah, I'm guessing he used his trends to just pull the creep, if something like a Syllabear would do. Just pull the creeps to his tower and try to get an early level 2, just so he could teleport away.
Oh, Fogged apparently has to fix his hotkeys using the wrong computer, man. Shame on you. Actually, I thought they saved his Steam profiles. Or am I mistaken on that? I don't know. I thought they saved to your Steam and not actually
They do,
computer you're
actually.
on. Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Kind of weird. Maybe his girlfriend was just on his account or something.
Or they're just trolling, one or the other. I
Probably
suppose that's
trolling.
always a possibility.
Silly Honners.
Han players, man. What are you going to do? Oh, God, I just flamed myself. That's embarrassing.
Oh, jeez.
Well, gotta turn off the stream now. No one wants to watch anymore after knowing. Gonna see stun off on Aoi 2000 here. Is Korea gonna be able to get to the rune in time? Does pop the edict. That's actually pretty bad for Aoi.
Yeah, his
Losing
win run
out
is down.
on that rune. His win run's not up quite yet. DDX is coming in from the back. Furion gonna try to TP, actually cancels it. Aoi manages to get away at the last second, but still, that Invis rune is actually fairly big for him because now he doesn't have to worry about Furion ganks. He can pretty much escape any early game pressure, especially when you have to worry about the kind of smoke gank that Enigma could do along with an AA as well. And speaking of, he's doing quite a bit of harassment top to this Queen of Pain. And overall, man, some action, I guess, attempting to happen, but nothing really going too much in either team's favor at this point. 100 gold in favor right now of the Dire side, along with 500 experience. And this Morphling bottom lane, currently 11-7. He's free farming up his Storm, and let's check Fogged here. So 17-5, so Fogg's actually doing quite a bit better, as we also see PB has made their Enigma come to the top lane, and they're going to try to push this tier 1. And there's really nothing, I think, that Queen of Pain's going to be able to do about this.
Yeah, that Queen of Pain is under level. There's just no chance he's going to stop this push if they want to push it. They could probably go 2. Like, the Radiant side does not have the heroes to contest if they go for 2 towers here.
And they're manning up too, man. They're not backing off, although Tides is out of mana, so they're probably going to have to back up now. No more set of conversions. And Fogg's on level 4, so he doesn't have his Forged Spirits quite yet. I think they're really going to have to rely on some kind of early game aggression, though, coming out from Root Gaming, man. You can't just give away towers at this point. I mean, I know their strategy is kind of teamfight-centric, but there's a difference between trying to wait until 6 and giving away so much of an advantage that your level 6 is just not as strong as you would like it to be. And I think that's probably what's going to end up happening in this case, because middle lane, Aoi's only 5-4, but he's still level 4, so he's not doing too bad. Leshrack's actually almost level 5 at this point, even though he had his support there. But I don't know if they're getting enough done in the early stages to kind of keep their mid-game strong, you know what I mean?
Oh, I completely agree with you. The Furion lane bottom is completely... I neglect that lane because they can't kill him without a stun, right? But the middle lane, they should be more aggressive on this win run. They should try to keep him at his tower or sit on his hill. They need to keep him back if the top lane is going to be being so aggressive and trying to take the tier 1 out. They need to do some kind of counter aggression to keep in the game.
Well, there is an invis on this Leshrack, but I think Aoi 2000 is keen to it, so any kind of reaction they were looking to have is pretty much going to be nullified at this point. Bottom lane sneaking is taking a bit of damage here from the Morphling, and he's making his way up here to try to do some pushing of his own, and Sneaking might actually get dove right here. He does have a bottle. Is he going to waveform again? He's going to try to TP back to base, and I believe he will. Waveform not even going to be used. That would actually been pretty close, I think. I think he was below about 200 HP, but level 3 waveform only does 250, and that's, of course, before magic armor. So he's just going to go ahead and back up. In the meantime, Enigma has made his way to top lane. Once again, Cold Feet going to be used right there. He actually gets stunned in place by the Cold Snap as well. Oh, barely blinked out of there. That would have been troublesome if he actually got frozen to the ground right there. Currently sitting at 2-2, not opting to get Shadow Strike. I actually like this choice quite a bit, because what is Shadow Strike really going to do for him in this situation? He's fighting against 3 heroes, as this tier 1 finally does fall in favor of PB. And now, after that tower is dead, I mean, you can kind of argue that the Queen of Pain can farm a bit more and not have to worry as much, but at the same time, no reaction still from Root Gaming. They're not sending anyone up here.
Yeah, they really just want to try to get level 6 on the Tidehunter as fast as possible. If anything, they could send the Shadow Demon up there, and the Shadow Demon's presence might push them back a little bit and give the Queen of Pain some space to actually, you know, farm some and get some levels. But other than that, really, what reaction can Root Gaming have at this point to stopping this?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, but it's just really, really rough to watch, because whenever you have a jungler, especially a hero like Enigma, you know he's eventually going to make his way to the lane. And if they get 2 towers here for basically nothing, that's a huge gold lead that they're going to be having at this point in the game. And yeah, Tide Ravage is great, and the amount of burst damage they have is great, but they're going all in on that at this point. As bottom lane looks like we're going to have a kill. Here's our first blood right here. Sneaking going to get picked off by the triple gank of Morphling, Tidehunter, and DDX playing Shadow Demon, rather. And that's something that they very desperately needed, along with a tower kill. So they have just made their reaction, I think. That's pretty much exactly what they needed.
Yeah, that was great. Like, they got the tower, they got the first blood. That swings the gold advantage back in their favor. All they have to do now is stop this tier 2 from going down on top, and they're golden.
And we are going to have a TP in here, too, by the Queen of Pain. There's a nice stun out of Invis from Korea, and the Scream as well. Sunstrike's going to go down, but way off the mark. There's a Cold Snap, and the Cold Feet eventually does proc Disruption before the AA and the Invoker both die. Now Tides is out. Is he going to be able to escape? I don't think so. There's the Poison Touch, and one more auto attack from Blitz. We'll go ahead and pick up that kill. So 4-1 right now in favor of Root Gaming, and after getting that tower in the bottom lane and successfully defending their tier 2, man, I agree. That's pretty much perfect reaction from Root Gaming.
Yeah, that was really well done. Korea just... He had the invis, he saw the TP, he just manned up, went on the 3 heroes. It would have went even better if the Shadow Demon disrupted the Leshrack. He could have saved his life, and they probably would have still picked off those heroes. But they got a 3-for-1, and that was definitely worth it.
Yeah, at this point now, Morphling's still free farming away. Let's check his CS really quick. 43 and 13, man. He is cruising. Next highest on the map is actually on the other team, which is 28 for Fogged. And then 23 for Times of Time playing Enigma, and 25 for Korea, who is mid. And actually, Korea's CS is quite a bit low, but he spent a lot of time in Invis up there. He wasted some time, but he definitely made it worth it. Just a little bit low on the CS. Top lane, Fog still kind of farming away.
Furion barely gets away with 30 health after the Tidehunter ganked him and the Morphling waved in on him. That was close.
Oh, wow, I didn't even see that. Thank God he didn't die. I would have felt so silly. That's the thing, man. Like, every once in a while, you just start talking, and you have this great idea, and you're like, dude, this is totally what's going to happen, and then you're right, and you feel so good, and then you miss a kill. And you're like, why did this have to happen? But unfortunately, it didn't happen. He's going to see Sneaking actually TPs to middle lane, not even level 6 yet. He is really struggling. I like his skill build, though. He definitely went max teleport. He knew that there was pretty much nothing else that he could do at this point. He could have eventually jungled, but then again, they have an Enigma. So not really much going to be accomplished right there. And this Morphling is just playing so aggressive, man. He's just sitting right at the tier 2's doorstep, and he's like, you know what? You want to try to commit to ganking me? I have Morph. It's pretty much impossible at this point, considering you only have really 2 hard stuns, and you're probably going to have to rely on some kind of global to pretty much take me out at this point.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like they need to do something to commit to stopping the Morph. Pressure a lane or pressure the Morph himself. They have to stop his farm or he's going to get out of control way too fast.
Yeah, and the gold swing is pretty enormous after those towers as well. 6 minutes and 30 seconds, so pretty much just 3 minutes ago, it was actually the Dire side who had the advantage here by about 500 gold, and Root Gaming managed to come back, get the tower kill, get a 3-for-1 in that tier 2 in top lane, and swing it about 2,500 to 3,000 gold back in their favor. And right now, they definitely have the momentum to make it into the later stages of the game. Tied, though, still only level 4. They really have to work on him getting some kind of experience. I would imagine at some point, he's just going to want to go to the jungle and kill that small camp, especially because it's stacked, too. I mean, you really just want to get it as fast as you can. Oh, Morphling baiting out here, but the waveform right over the disruption does no damage. Could be in some trouble. There's a waveform pop, though, going behind the tower rather than running back into the Shadow Demon. Going to be able to TP out here and be just fine. DDX a little bit tardy to the party, and that was definitely a mistiming by the Morphling. They might have potentially been able to pick up a kill right there, as we also see a stun on middle lane. Sunstrike going into the Sprout onto Korea. Not enough damage to kill, though. Here comes Ephraim throwing out the Gush onto Tides of Time, and Sneaking also being chased down by the Queen of Pain and Leshrac on the top side. Edict is popped. I don't believe he's going to be able to get away. Is he going to get to the Ancients? No, he's not. Edict does eventually pick him off. Another disruption by DDX, and Tides of Time finally pops out. There's another Gush, and the kill being given to Queen of Pain, so very nice coordination coming out from Root Gaming so far.
A very good response from Root Gaming. Like, they're always on top of their TPs. They're always saving their teammates. They're not letting their towers die. It's just really well played so far from them.
And they're looking to try to push this middle lane too. Max Edict does a crap load of damage last time I checked the towers. Power shot spam going off from Aoi, trying to prevent any other aggression from coming out here. And top lane looks like Blitz is just going to run right into Fogged here. I don't think they're actually going to want to fight each other, though, as Blitz does eventually blink away. And right now, like I said, 6-1 kill lead for Root Gaming, and I don't know, man. Like, the momentum might just be too much for PB to stop at this point, especially when Tide gets that level 6. Oh, nice shackle, the one at Korea. Sunstrike coming down. No split damage, and there's the cold feed as well, but the power shot's off the mark. Aoi missing it just barely, but it looks like AA's actually going to pay with his life here as a Soul Catcher and the Purge go off from DDX. Another really beautiful play by Root Gaming, and man, you can't miss those power shots. That was a for sure kill. I'm not sure if it was on cooldown or what, but he got a great shackle, just couldn't follow it up.
Yeah, man. Like, Root Gaming is definitely impressing me right now with their teamwork and just their play in general. Like, I would expect this to go completely different. And
oh,
the
wow,
Morphling
Morphling just solo killed Sneaking. I definitely missed that. I was not expecting that to happen.
Yeah, I'm watching the mid tower. They're pressuring this mid tower really hard with Runner and Enigma right now.
Yeah, the conversions are out, but Ephraim's going to run right up to it. Are we going to see a shackle? There it is. Oh, it doesn't actually latch. Unbelievable. I thought that was there for sure, but another disruption going off. Aoi in some trouble now. Where's the stun from Korea? Hits him during the wind run. Beautiful stun coming out from Korea. The Malphus goes off to try to stop his teammate from dying, but Leshrac just a bit too fast and gets the kill with Edict. We saw an attempted TP coming in from Sneaking, but it looks like he's just going to make his way back to bottom lane. 9-1 at 11 minutes and 40 seconds into the game in favor of Root Gaming at this point. They haven't got another tower yet, but this Morphling at some point, I mean, he's not done really anything. He's got 1 kill, 1 assist, and they're still pretty much just losing a 4-on-5 at this point.
It's just the teamwork from Root, man. They're just playing this so well together. They're not even using Ravage yet. They're not using Morphling yet. It's just how they're playing as a team. They're just responding so perfectly to every situation.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of caught off guard here because I think that anyone who knew the two teams would definitely come into this saying that PB might have a slight edge here because they've played together quite a bit longer and they definitely have the coordination. I mean, that's why they pick these global strats because typically when you see them do it, they run it perfectly. But this game, they're just completely caught out by the reactions coming out from Root Gaming so far. And I gotta say, man, I'm really impressed. Just like you, sneaking, canceling that TP to the bottom rune spot. Definitely doesn't want to go in there. Would have been pretty much a for sure death. And seriously, only 2 towers dead at this point into the game, 12 minutes in, especially with an Enigma. I mean, they've only got 1, but I'm talking for like both teams total. I mean, that's just honestly a bit surprising to me.
I mean, everything that's going on in this game is just so surprising. Like, okay, I'm at a loss for words. PotM bottom usually plays so much better than this. Root Gaming is just, they got their number, man.
Definitely agree. His first tier tower mid's going to be pressured here. PB needs to try to make some kind of reaction. Oh, there's a Sunstrike, but again, off the mark. DDX also going to dodge the Ice Blast as Tides comes in from the side, kind of blocks himself a little bit there with his own conversions, but it doesn't look like Root wants to try to engage. Tide finally does hit 6, by the way. He just barely got it after that tier 1 tower fell, and wow. Okay, behind the tower, it looks like AA gets picked off by Morphling. And top lane, we're going to have another TP coming out from Sneaking. They're going to want to try to counter push when they can. And man, this is just really looking bad so far for PB.
Yeah, Morphling picks up his Joshua. Did you see him with another solo kill? Did you watch it that time? Because I missed it again.
I caught it like right at the end. He was behind the tier 1 or the tier 2 tower actually in middle lane. I think he actually had a replicate out because as soon as I looked, he was already gone. So I can only imagine that was the case. And yeah, his ult is on cooldown, so that's definitely what it was. And we're going to see another smoke up here by Root, man. They are just relentless. They do not want to stop the pressure. They're going to find Tides of Tide all by himself. He's going to try to run to his team, but I don't think it's going to be fast enough. Blitz trying to stop any damage being done. There's a black hole, but a nice stun follow-up on Korea. And he just manages to stop that black hole instantly. Oh, needs to be careful, though. Gets hit by the Ice Blast. Fog coming in from the side. Is he going to go down? One auto attack, but he gets immune by the disruption. And now Fog is trying to run out of this fight. There's a Sprout, but a nice Ravage hits 2. And now there's a nice shackle between Ephraim as well onto an Illusion. And
nice stun.
Just getting a double kill. And another stun onto Sneaking. There's the Anchor Smash as well. Auto attacks going off. And Furion makes it out of the fight. Now Aoi gets a kill on Tidehunter. Going to try to run away. The Soul Catcher, though, making it take so much damage. The Scream and the Waveform alone almost took him down from 100%. And 1 kill only coming out for PB right there. How
actually slightly ridiculous though. The Leshrac missed his attack on the Furion, and that is why the Furion got out with his teleport. It could have been a 4-for-1 trade there.
How did they only kill 1 hero?
That Leshrac, man, he got disrupted by the Shadow Demon as he was about to die from the Ancient Apparition ultimate. Just really well played by the Shadow Demon there.
I'm like boggled right now. We're going to see another Ice Blast come off right here, but I don't think it's actually going to hit DDX. You see the Sunstrike though. He backs up and actually gets pushed back from the ultimate and doesn't actually get taken out there because he dodged the Sunstrike. So a little bit of mistiming right there, but not too bad, I suppose. Looks like Root Gaming is going to get this first tier tower top. I just can't believe how that team fight went, man. That was just completely ridiculous. I mean, looking at PB's team, like, yeah, they don't have the greatest 5-on-5 team, but really, I mean, it would have, like you said, it would have been a 1-for-4. I really wasn't expecting that lopsided of a fight. The Ravage only hit 2 people.
It's just the Enigma died at the start of the fight, man, and from there, it just snowballed out of control. They shouldn't have even fought it after the Enigma died. Like, going for the Leshrac, that's okay, but the Leshrac got away. They should have just pulled out at that point. Letting themselves letting 2 people get ravaged, that made the team fight go well for Root Gaming. They should have just backed off.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to stop it too. Sneaking had the Sprout on him, but it just wasn't enough. Ravage, pretty ridiculous range. Let's see what it actually is. It is 825 at level 1, so yeah, that's definitely huge. And bottom lane looks like some harassment being done to Morphling from Aoi. And man, Aoi just doesn't have anything, and he was in that middle lane. He's got basically no talisman and phase on top of his wand, and that is it. I mean, at this stage in the game, 16 minutes in, you typically see either a mech or a 4-staff finished. I mean, that's pretty standard farm, I would say, for a Windrunner, especially being in that mid-roll, but I guess the dual lane Leshrac and Shadow Demon really did their job and shut him down.
Especially for Aoi 2000, that guy is a very known, extremely good farmer. For him to be shut down this well, it just shows Root Gaming is really playing great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually, like, I don't even know what else to say. It's just they're playing amazingly well at this point. 14-2 right now, 16.5 minutes in. Take a look at the gold graph here. 7,500 in favor of Root and 7,500, getting closer to 10,000 actually, experience in favor of Root as well. The only thing that they can't do, I think, is kind of get complacent. I really want to see them keep applying pressure. It looks like they're definitely trying to do that, though. Ephraim probably should head back to the base and heal. He's only got half HP. He does have another Ravage, though, so we'll see what they want to go ahead and do with it. But I guess, I mean, they really don't have to push either if they have the Morphling.
Yeah, they could just keep playing it the way they are. They're taking kills when they can. They have Ravage up, so they should try to push something or smoking something maybe. But I like what they're doing overall. The Morphling's getting absolute farm. He's not being pressured whatsoever. So it's good how it is right now.
Yeah, and this is a stage in the game, too, where PB knows that they're really far behind, so they're kind of doing that let's just all stick together strat, and really your efficiency at that point just drops off tenfold. I mean, you're not getting the farm you need, you're not getting the experience that you need. People need their core items. I mean, in this case, Enigma needs like a BKB and a mech or something like that. He needs to be able to get into team fights and actually live to get off this black hole. As we saw in that last team fight, he just got picked off pretty much straight away. Only has about 800 health at this point. And just in general, this is Root's game to lose, and bottom lane looks like they're not planning on losing it. There's another Soul Catcher and a Purge coming out. Sunstrike going to be way off the mark, and the waveform through by Morphling, and one auto attack will get the kill, but Morphling's going to be in some trouble, though. Oh, nice disruption once again. Stops any extra damage from being put out, and it looks like Morphling's actually going to be able to morph his stats and get away. Another beautiful play by DDX, saving his teammate right there, and he just wants to go for the kill. He doesn't even care. He's just throwing out Soul Catchers and Poison like it ain't no thing, and now Morphling actually chasing off pretty aggressively here as well. Going to waveform back and actually try to TP, and he will. Can use his replicate to actually get back to the lane. Oh, that could be a really good play. They might not be expecting this. Morphling's going to be back any second here. There's a nice shackle, though, onto an illusion, and Ephraim as well. But here comes Blitzer, not the Scream. Windrun is activated by Owie. Is going to be able to get away from this? I don't know. Shadow Strike is on cooldown. Oh, man, here's another blink, and there's another scream, but he's completely out of mana now. Blitz relying on nothing but auto attacks. It looks like AA also gets caught out as well. The Ice Blast does go off, but it's not quite enough to kill Blitz at this point. And behind the tower with another disruption, DDX throwing it onto himself. Immediately comes out, but a nice black hole hitting two. There's a Sunstrike to follow up. Does manage to clip the Shadow Demon, and now Tides looks like he's in a bit of trouble too. Just so much damage being done by this Leshrac. Level 2 Pulse Nova, and Tides gets away with no health whatsoever, bottling between auto attacks, but the Cold Snap and the right click from an X or Invoker does just too much damage and gets the kill on Leshrac. Just complete craziness, and honestly, PB came out a bit ahead there.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about everything that happened in that whole fight, starting right here in the middle of the bottom lane, with the Morphling dodging the AA ult, and then the disrupt by the Shadow Demon, and then all the follow-up to, like, the Windrunner picking off the Tidehunter not getting to cast spells, and then the Queen of Pain getting out, and then it looks like it went in PotM's favor there. That's just ridiculous fight.
Oh, middle lane too. Morphling might have overstayed his welcome just a bit. He does have a haster, and they're juking to the side. Catch me if you can, he says, as he jukes up to the top. Gonna run right into Tides of Time, though. There's the Malefice. Is he gonna get A before he dies? He does. Waveforms through, and now he's still converting stats, but a nice shackle by Owie 2000. There's the power shot. He is still converting, though, almost out of agility at this point. Pops the wand. Are you serious? He is still alive. Is he really going to get away? Is he really going to get away? Oh, the power shot right at the end by Owie clips him. Oh my god. How much do you need? How much do you need to kill the Morphling, man? That's what I want to know.
How much do you need to kill that Morphling? That was ridiculous. If he got away after getting that AA.
The Tide as well, and the Sunstrike. Yep, that's going to be a dead Ephraim. Sneaking actually might get taken out here by Blitz, though. Gets sprouted in, but that doesn't do anything to blink here. As I didn't mean to cut you off, man. That was definitely really interesting. Yeah, they could have denied him, but he can just earn up through it, I suppose. Oh my god, I can't believe that he actually died. I thought he was going to get away.
If he got away, that would have been NEODota worthy, man. But you have to think, Root Gaming is getting kind of sloppy. They're starting to give kills away. This score was 14-2 at one point, and now it's 18-7. They have to, keep their composure.
Blitz getting caught out here by 4 heroes. I don't think he's making it out of this one. No, he will not make a kill streak.
Like I was saying, it's veteran versus rookie. They have to keep the composure and not blow their lead right now.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It seems like they're playing a bit overconfident, especially the Morphling. I mean, you can't really say anything else. I mean, he was just really in the fight right there. Is he going to try to catch sneaking out again? But there's 3 heroes from PB here. He doesn't have replicate up just yet. I think he's going to be okay here. He got shackled to the tree. There's a Sunstrike. Is he able to convert in time, though? It's a little bit late. He does waveform back. The urn is popped on as well. But here comes the rest of Root Gaming from the flank. They want to try to engage this. Korea coming, leading the charge. He doesn't actually throw out his regen rune yet, though, so he doesn't want to get his mana back, so ultimately I guess they're not going to try to fight here. And Ephraim does have his ult again, but man, his levels are actually suffering quite a bit here. He was level 6, I want to say, like 10 minutes ago, and now he's only level 7.
Yeah, he's definitely doing way too much just random walking around, not enough farming. He's supposed to be in the forward in this situation. He's not the hard support, so he should be trying to get levels. If you look at DDX, that guy is level 12. Like, that guy's a legend, but Tidehunter really needs to step up his game.
Well, they are looking to try to push one of the last towers right now for PB. The tier 2 bottom, only 3 left, and they managed to get this one to be able to collapse onto other lanes, take even more map control, and I really think that's what they're going to be looking for at this point. I love the positioning by Korea, by the way, sitting off on the side, so you can't really go on the Leshrac at this point. He's opting for a straight-up Bloodstone after his drum, so he's not going for the BKB build. Oh, a stun on the Tides of Time. They might want to try to engage. This Purge does go off from the Shadow Demon. Ice Blast going to be way off, though. And now Ephraim trying to run in to throw out a Ravage, but he just gets completely dominated by the Deafening Blast, and the tower hits now Ephraim quite low. And once again, I think they might have overstayed their welcome just a bit. Oh, but the Sunstrike does hit Tide! Beautiful play by Fogged. Oh my god, how did he even know he was over there? That was some sick anticipation. And in the
He's
meantime,
a sniper, man.
Sneaking gets the second tier tower top, so PB not going down without a fight, man. They're swinging.
Counting them out is absurd. You can't count out this team. Like, they're doing great right now. Starting the game down 14-2, and now it's 19-9. They're definitely back in this thing.
Yeah, and they're going to get Roshan for their trouble. I mean, that's a huge swing. You get the hero pick-off that you want, you kill the Tide, they're not able to really engage, and that's the thing that they just couldn't have happen. I mean, their team is completely based around team fights, and if you start having miscommunication, you start having errors in your play, then it's going to fall apart, because PB's team is made to basically punish that. So every single time it happens, you're going to see the same thing we just saw. They got a tower, they got Roche, and they do have dire advantage. I mean, it's not huge, but it's something. And with all the tier 1 towers dead and the tier 2 top as well, there was no way they could have reacted to that. They simply just had to retreat.
Yeah, you still can't forget though. Root Gaming still has the slight advantage. The Morphling does have his Manta style. Leshrac just picked up his Bloodstone. Queen of Pain working towards the Sheep Stick. Stopped going for the Scepter. I don't know. It's kind of even. The Aegis just really helps PotM bottom a lot, and the team fights are really going in their favor right now. The Tidehunter, that was a bad engagement. I'm just going to say, the Tidehunter should not run into their tier 2 trying to get Ravage off. That's just a bad fight. He shouldn't have done it.
He's just so impatient, man. I really think that's the thing. I feel like they knew that they were the underdogs going into this, and they're really just so scared to give away their advantage that they feel like they absolutely have to fight no matter what. And that's just a really dangerous mentality to have, because we just saw it right there. I mean, he just didn't execute properly at all and just ended up getting picked off and basically lost his team a huge gold lead. I mean, at this point, that was, what, 2 towers, basically, and a Roche, and there was nothing that Root Gaming had to say about it at all. You can see the gold swing already. It's already about 3,000 or more back into favor of PB at this point, and wow, Ephraim gets picked off again by a Sunstrike. Where the heck was it even at?
Right here, man. The Tidehunter just tanked the Infernals for too long. Those things do too much damage. He's underleveled. He shouldn't have been tanking those Infernals. And especially against Fogged. Fogged Invoker, he's a sniper, man.
Korea's gonna die too. Oh my god, he stopped chasing. Just gonna use the Forward Spirits, I guess, but he stuns him. Is he really gonna get out of here? Oh, the Sprout misses! Korea's gonna get away. Are you kidding me? The Sunstrike's gonna be off the mark here, and Sneaking is forced to TP out as top lane in the river. Fog gonna be making it back to base. It looks like Morphling does so much damage at this point, though. Waveforms to the high ground, but Tides actually dodges it, getting some extra auto attacks off. There's the Ice Wall, and Tides tries to Black Hole and wastes it. It's down on cooldown. Now, that was a huge mistake. Shackle goes off, but not going to latch to anything. Didn't wait for the Sprout, and he's going to be able to TP out of here.
That Morphling, man, he's just not afraid of anything.
He does not afraid of anything. That is definitely the case. I can't believe that, man. That Sprout miss, that is a huge blunder. He couldn't have had sight. I mean, that's what I'm thinking, because you can just straight up target it and pretty much never miss. So
yeah, I'm guessing fucked up.
Yeah, I'm guessing that the Forge Spirits actually didn't give him vision. A little bit cocky there by Fog, just letting the Forge Spirits walk in there and just assume that he had the kill, though, at the same time. I mean, you kind of gotta say it both ways. I don't know, that was definitely interesting, though. Oh, in middle lane. Oh, the tower goes down. Looks like Leshrac gets it. There's the Ice Wall there. And a Cold Snap as well. Doesn't... Oh, it does freeze him. Wow, he's quite far away. I didn't actually think that was going to freeze him in place. The Furinal does come out. Ephraim trying to get a Ravage here. He does throw it out and hits only one hero. Only hits Tides of Time. And now Root is going to be forced to retreat here. I don't think they want to take this fight. DDX tries to disrupt his teammate, but fails. Doesn't get it off in time. But here comes Morphling, killing the AA, and wow, okay, Furion just died straight away right there too, so that's a double kill for the Morphling. They're gonna make their way into the base right here. Soul Catcher goes off on a Tide. The miss stun doesn't matter though. Root picking off everyone one at a time. I thought whereas they picked off that Tide, the Ravage was pretty much just a blunder right there, but they weren't able to actually take him out. And now, wow, Morphling is just in the base. He has 10 seconds left on his replica. Can he actually get this kill? 5 seconds of the waveform. Is he gonna go for it? He does have the Ghost Scepter, but nope, he is not gonna go for it. He's just gonna go to his replicate instead and not try to get that kill. But overall, I really thought that PB was going to get the better of that.
Yeah, Root Gaming just swings it back in their favor. Really well done by Root. Getting the base tower. You thought PotM bottom was on the verge of a comeback, but really well done by Root. Like, even with that bad Ravage there, they were all over that. Good job.
The Shadow Demon is just so strong, man. He's level 13 at this point. I mean, he is really the support they have to watch out for. And speaking of, man, he looks like he's in some trouble. He needs to disrupt himself. He does get it off. Sneaking into trouble now. There's a splitter from the low ground and the Edict and Pulse stuff as well. Sneaking taking a ton of damage, but splitting it very well by popping those treants. And now DDX looks like he's going to pay with his life. There's a Fury and Ultimate to pick him off. Blitz forced to blink back, but here comes Tide and Leshrac in from the back. Shackle doesn't latch to anything. Ephraim still does have that Ice Blast debuff on him, but I think he's going to be okay for the moment. And Morphling on the top side looks like he doesn't want to chase anybody for the first time this game. I thought of all people he would be the one to man up, but I guess he's just content to kill small creeps.
He just wants his shotgun, man. Once he gets his shotgun, he's gonna go nuts, I feel.
Yeah, he's almost got it too. He's about 250 gold away. Oh, he needs to be careful though. He does have the replicate up. Are they gonna be able to kill him before he gets to his illusion? They will! He didn't convert any stats. That is huge. Delays the Eagle Song, which would have completed that Ethereal Blade that he was desperately wanting right there. Actually chose not to fight and farm in the enemy's team jungle, or the enemy team's jungle, I should say. That's some backwards logic, I gotta say. It's like, I'm not gonna fight, but I will farm on your side of the map. Right now, PB just looking to push down some mid lane. Maybe even try to go for the tier 2 tower. I mean, Morphling does have buyback if he wants to use it, but actually, no. PB's just going to go ahead and play it safe and back up. Roshan isn't up for another 4 or 5 minutes. And Korea has his Bloodstone almost a BKB too, man. He is just ridiculously farmed at this point. 152 CS, 6 and 2. That's one thing we really haven't done too much this game, mainly because there's just been so many freaking kills going on. We haven't really had time to look at people's items too much, but Tide looking at the bracer and some boots. DDX, I gotta say, man, this guy has been playing very well. He's impressed me a lot. He's got his 4 staff up. He's got the arcane boots and an urn as well, picking up a smoke to try to gank. And of course, you have Blitz, who's playing the Queen of Pain. He's got his scythe up. He's got a point booster on top of that, so likely going to be going for the Ags. And once again, Korea, who has a 9-charge Bloodstone and almost a BKB. So that's pretty much all their farm aside from the Morphling at this point, who we've seen quite a bit this game already. Has his Manta going for the Ethereal Blade soon. Hopefully, at least in his case. And I don't know, man, like, PB just feels like if they do have a couple of good engagements, they could potentially kill the outer tier towers. But this is my question now. Even if they kill those tier towers, top and bottom, can they even push the base? I mean, it's so hard to push against a Tidehunter and a Leshrac. I mean, what do you really do against that?
Well, basically, the Furion's just gonna have to split push them all day and hope that Root Gaming makes a mistake. Like, hope Root Gaming pushes out and the Furion can maybe split push the bottom lane and potentially take a Rax. That's the only way I could see them split pushing this in.
And I mean, this is something that I think a lot of competitive teams have experienced. Like, you're stuck on your side of the map, this tier 2 is going to go down, they do glyph it, probably a bit of a waste, the Shackle not going to hit anything, near the Sunstrike or the Ice Blast, but yeah, this tower is going to go down, and here's the problem too for PB, even if they win a team fight, look at where they are in the map. How are they going to push a lane? I mean, they do have a Furion, but that's not enough to pretty much just get a Rax alone.
Oh. Morphling picks up his shotgun, just have to see what Root does with it.
Yeah, he's good. Oh my god, owie!
Well,
on the receiving end of the first shotgun of the game, and you just saw what he's going to do with it right there. He's going to say, you know what, Windrunner? I don't like you anymore. You're just going to go ahead and go back to the well and have a nice respawn time of about 45 seconds. Wow, okay. I always underestimate how much damage that does, I'll be honest. And actually, Foggy to get cut out. Oh, he messes up the Hex! He puts it on a Forge Spirit instead! Huge mistake from Blitz, not going to end up getting him killed. The XD phase comes out. I definitely agree with you there. Oh, AA, though, going to get picked off by another combination of Adaptive Strike and Waveform. Didn't even need the Ethereal Blade right there. It's actually on cooldown. But, however, more than enough to get the kill. 25-13 in favor of Root Gaming, poised to potentially take this last tower mid. Or actually, the tower's already dead. Never mind. Forget I said that. The racks are already exposed. Morphling going to make his way out of the base. Another Ice Wall going down here, trying to stop any pushing from going on, but it's going to be really rough, man. Stun to the high ground, not going to make contact with anything. Ephraim needs to play this a little bit safe, I think. They just need to be patient. Slow pushing, I got to say, is in Root Gaming's favor right now. I mean, if they sit outside the base, they're pretty much always going to be coming out on the better side of it.
Yeah, as long as they dodge the offensive long-range spells of PotM bottom, they should be fine slow pushing this. I really wish Ephraim was a higher level at this point because that is what they really need. They need a level 2 Ravage to engage this properly.
Yeah, level 2 Ravage does give that range increase, for those of you who did not know, along with the damage increase as well, so it definitely helps out quite a bit, especially pushing up this little choke point. I mean, that's really what they're worried about. They don't want to get caught in that kind of a situation, especially with an AA and an Enigma as well, so it's still pretty dangerous at this point. The Rax hasn't taken too much damage, so PB's doing a pretty good job at defending, and wow, they're going to back up and fake back, actually. They're going to smoke up and wait to see if PB actually comes out of their base, but I don't know if it's going to work, man. I think they're a little bit too scared at this point.
Well, there's an observer war spotting, so they know that they haven't completely backed. So
Oh
I
yeah,
think they'll
in the
still
river.
play passively.
Yeah.
Oh, egg is popped. That's the Morphling.
Well, Roche is going to be up in just a couple of seconds, though, so I think that if anybody, Root Gaming is going to be going for it. DDX running around here at the top rune, scouting things out. There's a double damage here, too. I definitely think that Morphling is going to want to make his way there, especially because he does have a bottle, and I don't see... He just uses Replicate, though, didn't he, to get back?
He did.
Okay, so I don't think they're going to be able to get it. Ephraim trying to babysit the rune for as long as he can, but yeah, he's going to be forced to take it here. And Nature's Prophet actually canceling a TP into Roche. Is he actually going to go for this? They do have vision here, but they haven't really seen anyone but the Morphling, so it's still a bit of a risk to check this. It is going to be up very, very soon, though, so I think we might see a Roche fight to end the game. I mean, that just seems like the most logical place where they're going to form up and fight, because if you're PB, even fighting at your base is dangerous, but if you give away a Roche, you know you're really just losing harder.
Definitely. They can't give up Roche at this point, and they have the heroes to stop Root Gaming from Roshing. That is certain. Like, that is a fight that's ideal for them, is fighting them at Roche from outside the pit.
Well, at this point, PB is still kind of sitting together here, and this is something that I don't really think they can have happen too much longer. Root is just so far ahead in the farm department. I mean, 10,000, almost 12,000 gold in favor of them at this point, along with 10,000 experience. Those are the kind of leads where you figure, like, a team can't possibly squander that. But we've seen some glimpses of PB just playing very well, and a couple of mistakes made by Root, and it's making him really nervous, I think. I still feel like they don't want to try to go in too fast or take a fight that they're not 100% sure they can win, and I really do think that killing Roshan is going to be their best bet. Oh, a top lane, Sneaking's in a bit of trouble, managed to get the Sprout off on himself after the Ethereal Blade was used, and he's going to save himself a death right there, so that's definitely good. But, I mean, PB is still, for the most part, really out of position if they decide to go for Roche here.
I think Root should just go for, well, they should counter ward and then go for Roche. Because look at PotM bottom. They're playing so passively right now. They're so afraid of losing this game to a team they should beat.
Well, right now, another smoke up here by Root Gaming. They want to try to pick somebody off. It looks like they might try to bait the Morphling top lane. I don't know if that's even a good option, because who's going to go on him? I mean, they can't kill him before. We saw earlier in the game, they had 4 people attacking him, and he almost got away. I just don't really think they're going to be able to bait him out. So at this particular stage in the game, I agree, man. I think that Root just wants to probably try and go for a Roche. By the way, Morphling picking up an Ultimate Orb on top of his already ridiculous farm. So he's going to be going for that Scotty, I would imagine. It seems to be the pretty standard build nowadays.
Yeah. I'll go for Scotty and then most likely lifesteal. That's what Morphlings do these days.
Well, let's see what Morphling wants to do now. He's going to TP to the bottom lane, counter push, and then go ahead and send himself back up to the top lane. And that's another thing that I think that people don't really hit on enough, is Morphling's split push potential and just his presence in the later stages of the game is probably the best of any hard carry, I would say, because he can just be everywhere, man. It's so hard to deal with him.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the most annoying carries to deal with, like outside of an anti-mage or a Spectre, for sure.
At this point, that Morphling is level 20 right now. He's not actually teleporting to the top lane yet. Going to see some counter warding being done by PB. Want to try to give themselves some kind of map control so they don't have to worry all the time about getting ganked. But when you're sitting in your base for this long against a team who has a better late game, it just really doesn't feel like they can accomplish anything at this point. I mean, they're relying on Root to make a mistake, and that's a position that you never want to be in. I mean, you pick yourself into a situation where you're like, okay, we're going to rely on split push, and we're going to rely on picking people off rather than trying to engage in a 5v5. But when you're outside, or the enemy's outside of your base, you don't have a choice but to 5v5. Like, there's nothing else you can do. If you don't 5v5, they're going to kill your Rax. So this is the point in the game where their strategy has just completely lost its footing, I think.
The mistakes that PotM bottom made in the early game and just the perfect play from Root really just nullified the split pushing strategy that PotM bottom went for this game. So it's just all about Root making mistakes now. Completely right.
All right, well, Fog does have his Hex up, so that's definitely good for him. He has a Drum and a Force Staff as well, so his farm is really not bad at all, to be honest. It's just no one else on the team really feels to have that much teamfight presence. If you look at Aoi, I mean, he was middle, and he has nothing but a Force Staff and a Cloak. I mean, that is just really nothing at all. There is a ward on the high ground here. They are going to spot out any pressure that comes out from Root Gaming, so they're going to know pretty well in advance what's going to be coming their way, as Morphling actually isn't there quite yet. Or is he? I'm looking for him on the map. Okay, he's actually in the base, so this is actually a really opportune time for them to take Roche if they knew it, but I don't think that they do. There is a ward middle, but it's not going to see Morphling coming from that particular direction. And yep, looks like Roche is going to fall in favor of PB here. Oh, but here comes everyone with the Ravage. The Aegis was picked up too fast, though. Sneaking might go down anyway in a black hole, managing to only hit DDX right there. The Ice Blast doesn't go off in the back of the pit, and we are going to have a double kill for the Invoker so far. That is a godlike streak for him, and it looks like Leshrac dies as well. This is a huge turnaround from PB, and now Morphling looks like he's in trouble as well. They almost hits nothing. Only hits Tides of Time in the very back. AA might end up dying here for his trouble. Morphling managing to get out of the team fight, still converting his stats to strength. That was absolutely huge. And now the Aegis was popped and Seeking to come in from the backside. Morphling in a lot of trouble now. Does not have buyback money. He does throw out the shotgun. Tries to do it, but misses. More staff in anticipation from Ali. Nice dodge. And the Sunstrike also hits by Fog, knowing the waveform was going to come. Absolute sick individual plays coming out from PB right now. And that was a team fight that Root really could not afford to throw away like that.
Yeah, the Ravage hit only the Furion. It hit the Invoker on the high ground, I believe, but it hit nothing. And then PotM Bottom just came in from the outside. Just pure skill difference there, man. There was nothing more to say about it. That was really well played by PotM Bottom. Just all the plays, all the survival tactics they use.
I can't believe the Sunstrike and the fact that he dodged the waveform too. I mean, how do you even anticipate that? I mean, yeah, he's going to try to combo you down, but just knowing exactly where it would be, being able to force staff in that anticipation and not die to it, that was just craziness. And PB, every single time we count them out, man, they just seem to get one of those team fights where it's like, well, maybe they could, man. Maybe they could get back into this game.
Man, American Dota. This is good Dota.
It's definitely been action-packed, I'll say that much. It's been 43 kills in a 38-minute game, so at the very least an average of over a kill a minute at this point. And man, again, Tide just really struggling this game. 1-7, only 50 CS, not even level 11 at 38 minutes. I mean, that is just... I gotta say, man, that's just too far behind. I mean, that's just... I don't know what else I can say.
That's just poor. That's poor play. There's nothing, like, out of respect, that's poor play. I don't want to make fun of any players, but okay, he's almost level 11, so you can work with that. He needs level 2 Ravage at least.
Right.
Ideally, he wants level 3 Ravage since they have such a huge advantage, but level 2 Ravage... They need something for the team fights. The team fights are not going as well as they should be for Root Gaming.
Yeah, I'm really shocked, and actually the pickup of the BKB by Queen of Pain might help a lot in that department, because if you look at PB's lineup, they don't have a significant amount of physical damage. It's pretty much the Invoker, with right-click basically and his Forged Spirits, and then the rest of it's solely magic, really. So I'm actually a bit surprised the BKBs came out as late as they did. I mean, Korea and Blitz have them, who I suppose you could say are their two heroes that absolutely needed them. But that last fight, I don't think that Queen of Pain had a BKB, and they chose to engage anyway into a really strange spot.
Yeah, the Queen of Pain picked it up right after the team fight ended, which is kind of odd. I guess they felt pressured to try to stop the Roche, but they didn't even do that. So,
well, let's see if Root can go ahead and seal the deal here. The game's actually dragged on a bit longer than I thought it would. They're still in a pretty commanding lead, but they've lost a little bit of their advantage, to say the least. It's about 4,000 swing back in favor of PB, so 8,000 gold, 8,000 experience in favor of Root still, as BKB is purchased on this Nature's Prophet. So now he can pretty much split push whenever he wants and never has to worry about really getting taken out here. He can always just BKB and TP away. Doesn't have to worry about dying. On the flip side, though, Morphling, almost to a Scotty right now, only a couple hundred gold away. That's going to help him significantly. He's currently sitting at that 1 strength point, so now he's not really worried about anything but trying to shotgun somebody, get them out of the team fight straight away. And if you were in his shoes, who would you target, the Invoker, or would you go for somebody else like an Enigma?
I would not go for the Enigma. Killing the Enigma with the shotgun, it seems pretty impossible. The Enigma has the pipe, the Enigma has the Ogre. I'd go for the Invoker or the Ancient Apparition, for sure. If the Ancient Apparition has used Ice Blast, then go for the Invoker or the Windrunner, but if you can get the Ancient Apparition out of the fight, he's an easy pick-off.
Alright, well, you heard it here first. Mikey says he needs to go for that Invoker. And I agree, man. I definitely agree there. He's a really big threat. And that's a hero who doesn't have to rely on his ultimate either. So he's a hero who's pretty much a consistent amount of damage output rather than relying on somebody like an Enigma who has to get a good hold to be that effective at this stage. So I think that's definitely going to be to his favor. Sunstrike's going off. Didn't even know where it was. I was on top lane. There we go. Scotty is finished, by the way, on this Morphling, and his farm is crazy. It's 308 CS at 41 minutes into the game. He's 10-3-3, so he hasn't been involved in the most team fights, but he definitely has done his job at the very least, making his presence felt in some situations, and also allowing himself a plethora of farm, I would say. And also BKB picked up on Invoker, so BKB's coming out. I think, honestly, getting BKBs might be better for PB than it is at this point for Root, because PB has a lineup where they're really just trying to avoid Ravage, trying to avoid the Queen of Pain Burst. I mean, yeah, Morphling's a threat, but it's just one hero. Everything else from their team is completely magic-based, and they have to be caught by things to really get taken out. So I like the choice of BKBs here.
Oh yeah, the Leshrac, the Queen of Pain, the Tide, the Shadow Demon, it's all nullified if they get BKBs, and then it's only the physical damage of Morphling. And Morph can't hit everybody, obviously, so it's a great choice.
Gonna see a missed Ice Blast on bottom lane, not hitting the Morphling. He's still kind of pushing up here, and I really think that we're just going to see another Roche attempt before the game ends. That's what the teams have to be waiting for. Because right now, Root has pretty much, I don't want to say thrown away their advantage, but at the very least, they've lost a lot of momentum. And that's something that they just can't afford to happen. Their team is entirely comprised around getting those towers, getting the map control, and then using that momentum to get Raxes. I mean, that's pretty much the kind of style that they pick behind. They do have a failsafe, though, with the Morphling, as we said before. But it really feels like if they didn't have a Morphling, this would be in a lot different perspective than we were talking about right now. I mean, if they had gone one more hero in on a push strategy, this could have been a completely different game. And a lot of it, again, rests on the shoulders of that Tide. There's just been a couple of questionable engagements by him. And if they manage to lose their lead, I don't know. I mean, it's still not really that close, but anything could happen at this point.
Yeah, I feel like this game could go either way. PotM Bottom is playing it so extremely well. But then again, Root has their moments where they just shine through and just make PotM Bottom look easy, so I don't know. We just have to see it. Yeah, that's going to help a lot.
Tide getting the
He's
blink.
also got level 2 Ravage, so hopefully he hits more than one hero in one of these fights.
The subtle flame coming out from Mikey and Ephraim, unfortunate, but a little bit warranted in this case. We would like to see some better Ravages. If Root Gaming wants to take this, again, guys, this is only a best of one. So whoever takes this is going to be moving on in their group stage and continue to play against the other teams. I believe this is group 2. Don't quote me on it. I will look at it after the cast if I need to.
It's group 2.
Okay, it is group 2. All right, so they definitely need to win this. I mean, these are the two teams that I said myself are the top 2 contenders in this group itself. So whoever wins this is going to be pretty happy about it. This is like the really important game for game 2, I would say, or group 2.
Yeah, this will be pretty much the team that gets first in the group, whoever wins this game.
Another Ice Blast going to be coming off. Not going to hit anybody, though. Korea continues to farm in his side of the woods. 6, 3, and 7 for him. He's also got about 270 CS. And Root's actually done a really good job of being efficient with their farm so far. I mean, the CS split, I mean, Morphling at 362 right now. I mean, that is insane. 272 for Leshrac and 234 for Blitz. So they're all farming extremely well. But again, PotM Bottom isn't really that far behind. That's actually a bit shocking. I mean, I know they have a Fury on, and he can just pretty much ult on cooldown if he wants to go ahead and pick up that CS, but he's honestly been saving it quite a bit. So the fact that at this stage in the game, that PotM Bottom even has remotely the same CS as Root is just completely attributed to their skill, and I think we've seen that in some of the team fights.
Definitely. Morphling picks up his BKB now, so maybe we'll see a team fight go down. We'll just have to wait and see what they want to do with it. What's the time on Road? Oh, there's still like 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a little bit of time before we're going to see another team fight. I mean, we've talked about it before, but that's really the only place that people are choosing to fight at this stage. There's already been 2 failed pushes mid coming out from Root Gaming. They did manage to get the first tier tower, but they just couldn't steamroll that into a Rax, unfortunately, and I really do feel like they've played this too passive. If PB comes back, I don't really think it's quite as much PB playing well, because don't get me wrong, they did, but it has to be more Root making mistakes.
Yeah, it's the passive play from Root when they had the advantage, and then when they did try to make aggressive plays, they made mistakes with them. So now they're scared to continue with the aggressive plays. So I can agree with what you said there.
Well, Leshrac does have a haster and bottle, and they're going to go ahead and quad smoke up here. Morphling sitting here farming the Ancients. Not really sure what he's going to go next. I think the most typical build is what, like Satanic after that?
Yeah, I could see him getting Satanic. I don't really see him getting any other item at this point. He just needs to tank. He does the damage.
Yeah, he does do quite a bit of damage, actually. Looking at him right now, he hits for over 300. He's got, what, 280 agility or something like that? It's definitely ridiculous at this point. Makes his shotgun do quite a bit. And Root's just looking to pick somebody off, but looks like PB not going to be caught out here. They're actually all 5 bottoms, so both teams. And this actually happens quite a bit. It's pretty ironic that it's like, okay, we're going to smoke up as 5 and try to catch somebody because they've been playing passive for so long. And then as soon as you smoke, you see the team on the other side of the map, and you're like, wait, what? Why did this just happen? And I mean, they had no vision of that either. It was just a complete coincidence. PB didn't have any wards towards middle lane. I mean, they're going to get spotted out now, but way back by where the tier 2 used to stand is when they originally smoked. And there is no way that they could have known that was coming. But it looks like PB wants to be on the aggressive here. Could be seeing another team fight, or we might see an attempted base race. And I don't know if this is really a good idea, because Morphling is going to kill the base way faster than anything from PB.
Yeah, PB has the summons, but that Morphling is just putting out way too much damage.
Well, he's going to make his way to this top tier tower and start hammering on it. There's the Manta. Immediate glyph. Oh, this is actually really bad for PB. They did not want to use their glyph here. Even if they do manage to do some damage to the Morphling, it's just not going to be that effective. Blitz running around here trying to catch somebody out. Invoker isn't in the base. He doesn't have a TP either. He does have the BKB, though. He's going to throw out the Ghost Walk and be able to get back to base. But in the meantime, top, this tower is almost dead. I mean, even with the glyph, Morphling did just so much damage to that tower, and they wasted their glyph as well. This is when Root needs to fight. They need to try to get a team fight win off this. No glyph means easy 2 racks, maybe even 3.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And Root Gaming apparently not wanting to fight just yet. Going to see another Sunstrike for scouting. Not sure who it was on. Okay, I was going for the Morphling again. And he doesn't have Lifesteal yet, so he's not going to be able to get all his health back before they team fight. He's going to start a little bit hindered here. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though, for PB to really stop this. He does have a BKB on top of his other farm now. Oh, Hex on the Blitz. They're going to go in. A nice Blink Ravage. That's what they need. It hits 4. There's no Black Hole from Tides just yet. There it is. Does hit 2 heroes. Here comes the Ice Blast as well, but I really don't think it's going to be enough. Ephraim does eventually fall, but Sneaking is just taking so much damage. It's currently only a 1-for-1. Fog's going to be the next one to drop, getting taken out by that Morphling. There's a double kill, and now Owie looks like he's not long for this world either. The buyback's coming out straight away, and Invoker already bought back. He throws out the Tornado to stop Morphling from doing any damage, but a triple kill for Morphling. The range racks drops pretty much right away, and now Morphling actually going to put out a replicate and TP back to base. Oh, but he gets canceled by the Cold Snap. That's actually a pretty big deal. However, they still will be able to kill that Rax, but instead of having to deal with the full health Morphling, it's only going to be a low HP one as Fog does get stunned once again. Another disruption going off onto him by DDX, and Fog has taken a lot of damage actually from this Soul Catcher, and top tower also falls as Queen of Pain comes into base and picks off Invoker with a Blink and Scream. Oh no, Morphling overstaying his welcome just a little bit too much, and now Stinking's in trouble as well, and the GG's coming out from bottom.
Root Gaming.
Root freaking Gaming.
Root Gaming.
And apparently my computer is completely locked up, so perfect timing actually to end the game because I can't physically move my camera anymore. So I just want to give a quick shout out to you, Mikey. Thanks again for joining me for this game. Shout out to the players, Blitz sending his stream viewers over to me. That was definitely nice of him. Didn't have to do that, but he did. So he's a boss. And congratulations to Root for winning possibly the most important game in the entire group.
That, I'm really impressed. Like, I'm happy for Root Gaming. Everybody knows Blitz is my friend, so I'm glad they won.
Alrighty, well, apparently my stream just started having a hemorrhage right here, so I'm going to have to unplug my mouse. Sorry for the beeping, guys, but it's just going to be... Oh, never mind. Okay, I guess it stopped straight away. So that's going to be... Oh, there it goes again. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and sign out as soon as this is done freaking out, but... Root Gaming takes it, man, and we're going to see you guys next time with some more ECAL. Once again, guys, my name is Draskyl. Joining me today was Quantic Mikey. Going to see the throne die here, but we are out of here for the day. Want to thank you guys for being here, especially the guys who came early. It means a lot, and we'll be back tomorrow with more Dota 2.